Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first Cloud Hero event day. We're really happy to have you all in here. And so I would first like to recommend that everyone would subscribe and like this video so that you would get notification on our upcoming new events that are coming out throughout the year, and also get notifications for our Cloud Hero events happening tomorrow around the same time. And so also by being a part of the Dsc community website, you're also getting notifications about our upcoming events happening throughout the year, coming in from different Dsc clubs throughout the nation. And so make sure to subscribe for that, and you'll all be amazing. Have a great day. And so, and to get today's event started with data and machine learning with BigQuery, I would like to invite Mahanaj and Robbie to the stage.
Hey everybody, happy to
Hi
be here.
everyone.
Hello all. And so
How is
let's get
how is it
started with
going,
it.
Abdullah, for you?
It's going pretty well. I'm pretty excited about today's event.
Cool. So let me quickly introduce about myself. I'm Manoj. I'm current DSC lead of University Pacific San Francisco, and I'm doing masters in data science. Today I'll be going to a quick lab of command line using BigQuery. Yeah, and my friend Bobby will introduce machine learning using BigQuery.
Yeah, hey everybody. So my name is Bobby, and I'm currently the DSC lead at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and I am an undergraduate student studying computer science. Like Manoj said, he's going to be focusing on BigQuery. I'm going to be taking that BigQuery aspect and adding in the machine learning element. So we're going to be doing a quick lab on Bqml, and I'm really excited for what we have in store today. Let's go ahead and introduce our mentors that we're going to have on our Discord channel.
Awesome. I'm glad to have you all here on board, and I can't wait to get you all started with your exciting new labs and make sure to have students learn a new skill in today's event. Thank you all for being on the stage. We'll see you later throughout the lab. Goodbye. And let's dive deeper into our amazing superstars on our Discord channel. We have Andrew, Evelyn, and Addie from 3 different DSC clubs, and which would be always ready to help you and provide assistance whenever needed throughout the event. And so make sure to use that URL link if you didn't already in our prep event to join our Discord channel. And for the newcomers, make sure to check in the green box in the role section to get access to all of the cloud and channels that we have to offer. And you can do that just by scanning that QR code to get access to our Discord channel. And so that gets me to our amazing agenda for today. First off, we're going to start with a welcome session. Then we're going to dive deeper into what is Cloud Hero and why are we playing. In addition to that, we'll give another short Cloud Hero data and machine learning introduction, just highlighting the main takeaways that we've had in our prep events. And then we're going to go to how to play. And then we're going to be back with Manoj and Robbie to go over some of the labs and make sure that you're all going to be superstars at this and be able to get ready to get that challenge lab ready and get your own badges. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. So yeah, cloud cloud might be very interesting, and especially if you're just looking up cloud in the dictionary, you might not really get cloud computing terms. Cloud is always the clouds that we see on the sky, but cloud computing could be a confusing term. But at most basic level, it means that we're getting things done using somebody else's computer. That definition, of course, here is not cloud computing. And so Google Cloud Platform, or short as GCP, allows us to use the cloud's computing infrastructure to help run our applications. And so they are a suite of secure storage, innovative machine learning, and powerful compute and integrated data, products, and services. And so we're going to have a run of how this could help students in different ways throughout their career and throughout the projects they've been working on, maybe for a hackathon or maybe as some personal project that you're exciting to work on. And so, how do we build skills to get the most out of these powerful technologies that's been used by industry? Well, you can take a new approach. Google technologies require learning new skills, and we're here to help you start it. And so this helps you how to use the technology within a job function to build like cloud solutions that drive cross-functional success. We also have role-based learning to help your team thrive in a cloud-first world and help them move from maintainers to strategies and to innovators and disruptors. And that's what we're looking for in everything we do related to cloud computing. And so that gets me started on what is cloud. We do mention Cloud here a lot, and we have already had a Cloud Hero prep event. Well, Cloud Hero is a virtual hands-on training event, and we're using quick labs to help the technical practitioners gain skills through interactive learning in a fun and competitive environment. And so Cloud Hero brings developers together to compete against one another in a gamified labs by using their Cloud Hero skills. It is one of the many interactive products from Higher Education Learning Center from Google Cloud. Overall, it is one of the many steps toward path of gaining some perks and certifications, and some of these certifications we're going to go over today. And so here's some overview of the labs that are included in data and machine learning and Bigquery. In today's workshop, we'll be going over Quick Start command line, which is the first on the list, the blue check. Each lab are building blocks and they build upon each other. And that building that you're building is basically your certification on becoming a class hero. And so, by becoming a student in such an event, you do get free credits, discounted credentials, and on-demand learning. And you can do all of this by registering being a student on our Cloud Hero event platform. So that gets you the question, why get certified? Well, it is to build credibility, industry recognition, career advancement, and personal development, which are all highlighted in everything we do, starting off from the lab walkthrough all the way to the actual hands-on experience you see in the lab. And so where then can this take me? It seems pretty broad and pretty big. Well, why are we collecting skill badges? Skill badges helps you practice and get training for becoming a pathway to associate cloud engineer certification. So that prepares you and taking an associate a cloud engineer association. I think that sounds really cool. And so earning credentials like these are a great way to show your potential employers what you're capable of and what you can do. And so it goes on different timeline, which you're going to go through as you're finding your way to have that certification. And so that's not just a badge that you can have. It also builds your confidence. We have 75% of the respondents said words like confidence, presence, and professionalism and recognition when talking about their future opportunities after certifying with one of the Google Cloud certifications. 84% of respondents felt proud to have a proof point about their skills and abilities when working with recruiters and placement consultants. 86% of respondents told us that they feel more remarkable, more attractive to companies, and overall much more confident in their ability to stand out from others who are applying for similar roles. And finally, 87% of respondents had the boost of confidence they wanted and needed to really get themselves out there and getting the opportunities they desire. So, hearing from all these people having an impact on their own career, family, and future helped us understand how important it is to have such a certification in order to set yourself and have that professional background to help bridge the gap between theory and practice. It also accelerates your career. So we do have some numbers, Toronto, about how exciting it is to be having that certification on hand, since 30% of our users took one or more responsibility or leadership after completing that certification. About 23% or 22% changed the career path to better use their newly learned cloud skills. And so let's ponder over this a minute. So 1/4 of the users were able to find a new job and switch to career path based on their learning journey through the certification. That sounds awesome. As this coherent is getting ready to take the Associate Cloud Engineer Association, get excited that employers are recognizing your hard work. And so, what about those who are motivated by money? Well, 23% of our certified users received a raise or a higher paying job after becoming certified. 38% of those received at least $10,000 raise. Wow. Finally, 23% applied for at least one job, where 78% of those received a job offer. In short, if you're asking yourself, but what is it in for me? I hope these statistics could drive home your opportunities. And so let's get started with Cloud Hero Data and Machine Learning Introduction. It is one of the keystones to help you to that certification that we were just talking about. And so let's get started. Wow, these pictures. We do see them a lot on some kind of documentary where we're talking about data science. And so this is one of Google's many centers, which house computing, storage, and networking resources that powers Google's own products and services. How cool is that? We all use Google services. So this specific data center is in Iowa. And in recent years, Google has applied its massive computing scale to something called cloud computing, which sharing these resources with developers who want to build and run applications on Google's computing infrastructure. When you use GCP, you're using a slice of these data centers to help power your applications. This is one of those computers that you're using by just using the GCP cloud platform. How cool is that? And so essentially, Google Cloud Platform is a suite of developer tools that help us build amazing apps using the cloud's computing power. And they use the same technology that powers Google's own products like Search, Inbox, and Google Translate, and many others. And so here's a small example of Google Cloud products, and we do have thousands and thousands of them. So our products are broken up into categories like compute, big data, machine learning, and storage and databases, which you can see a slight glimpse of them on this slide. Maybe take a moment to ponder about it. Awesome. And so we would be here for several days if I would like to talk about all of the products, but today we're just going to focus on these today. Bigquery, data prep, auto machine learning, cloud vision, cloud speech, and some others. Cool technologies that we're going to have. And so let's get started with machine learning, since it's the highlight of today's event. Now that you have foundational knowledge of Google Cloud, let's learn and dive deeper into machine learning. And so let's consider an example of that problem, distinguishing between puppies and muffins. One way to go about this is to set a bunch of rules. Maybe a photo with eyes or ears is a puppy, or a photo with something in a wrapper is a muffin. But sometimes it's not so easy. Now, the rule of looking for the eyes doesn't work because we have blueberry muffins. This shows us that hard-coded rules only go so far in helping us classify images. So some of these are muffins, some of these are puppies. Well, it might be hard for us to tell. A computer engine could definitely tell them apart. And so we're going to have try a different approach rather than just use the hard-coded rules to solve problems. And here's another example. We have this sentence: the quick brown box jumps over the lazy dog. Does anyone know what's so special about this sentence? Awesome. Yes, this sentence is special because it has every single letter of the alphabet in it. Now, does anyone notice anything wrong with this sentence? Yep, the quick brown box instead of the brown quick fox. Anyone know why the original version was incorrect? Awesome. Yeah. And so the reason it is the quick brown fox is because that we have syntax rule for adjective order in English. With multiple adjectives, they need to be in this order: quantity, quality, size, age, shape, color, proper adjective, and purpose for qualifier. So how many of you knows these rules? So actually, all of you know these rules implicitly, even if you can't explain them. So the question is, how did you learn these rules? I mean, it is English, right? The answer is that you learn this through experience, observing how sentences are structured by hearing other people talk and reading different books. Over time, you gain a lot of experience and can internalize many of these rules without even knowing them explicitly. And so machine learning is basically learning from rules plus experience, which gets it a lot more exciting. And so here's a nice diagram showing how machine learning differs from classical programming. With classical programming, you take data and rules as an input and have an output answer. With machine learning, you actually start with data and answers. And this is your training material that you use to generate rules that you can use to make predictions for future pieces of test data. Basically, you can use past data to learn patterns that would help you evaluate new data. And so, what is machine learning? From IEEE organization, it says that machine learning is the study of computing algorithms that improve automatically through experience. A simpler definition by Yilfeng Guo, a developer associate at Google, is that machine learning is using data to answer a question. With machine learning, we can take a training data, use it to create a predictive model, and then use that model to predict future results. As our model takes in more data over time, it generates more accurate predictions. And so, with machine learning, it teaches a computer to make repeated decisions using standard algorithms and lots of data. Data is vital for machine learning, and that's why it helps power it and make it much more accurate and predictive. And so that gets me to multiple of Google products that use machine learning. One of them is Google Photos. Does anyone here use Google Photos? Awesome. Yeah, it is one of my favorite features of Google Photos is the keyword search. With Google Photos, you can search your photos using keywords like dog or Hawaii. Google Photos uses computer vision technology to label different parts of the photos based on what the machine learning model thinks it's going on in each photo. That is, of course, based on the previous data that it has seen in the sample model. After training on billions of images, Google Photos predictive model allows you to search for images using keywords without having to manually label them all. And we can see this in multiple homes. With Google Home, the Google Home is another example of Google's machine learning capabilities. When you ask your Google Home to turn on the lights or play music, Google Assistant using machine learning for speech to text transcription so that it knows what you want and what it can do for you. We can also see this in Google Translate app. Have anyone used this app before? Yep, I'm pretty sure it's on multiple of our apps. And so with this app, you can get an instant in-app translation of street signs captured by your camera. It actually transposes the translated text directly into your screen. And so accurate translation is a pretty challenging problem. But with machine learning, Google can do this really well. And so that gets us to this slide. And so, because I've given like some examples of how machine learning could be used every day. So, who can actually use AI today? And so, very few people can create custom machine learning today. And our goal is to empower more users to help enterprises put AI in production. Awesome. And so, we want to democratize AI by making it easy, fast, and useful for all developers and users. And to solve these challenges, we believe that AI is a fundamental cloud technology that would eventually help all enterprises. The capability of AI isn't in question. It's at point where AI research has pointed that it can and it does power real application. And step one is we need to teach you all how to use it. However, the biggest barrier to adoption is that it's getting it into the hands of the customers. This is why we're building solutions that can reach the market, like developers, data scientists, researchers, and much more, and make it easy for them to adapt and deploy it, regardless of AI expertise. Now, let's watch a video to showcase how these solutions could be used.
Hello, my name is Alejandra,
And I'm Erickson.
and we're using machine learning to find potholes on the streets of Los Angeles.
LA has over 7,400 miles of roads and freeways.
That's a lot of roads and a lot of potholes to fix.
Right now, construction workers have to manually inspect roads for dangerous potholes and cracks, or rely on people calling in tips, which takes a lot of time.
While studying at LMU, we started to see if we could figure out a faster way to identify potholes throughout the city.
First, we needed data. So we rigged a camera to a car and we drove around to capture footage of different roads and freeways.
Then, we used TensorFlow, Google's open source machine learning tool, to develop a model that could quickly identify potholes, road cracks, and other weird stuff with a high rate of accuracy. Which means workers can spend less time finding potholes and more time fixing them.
Awesome. That's a great video provided by Google developers to identify how students in LA use machine learning to identify potholes. And this is one of the key technologies that you can use in your own community to help provide solutions for your own problems. Problems like these are a key indicator of how students can do amazing stuff to help their communities. And so we do have also a solution challenge competition that we'll be going over later this year that will help you all get excited and showcase what you can do with such technologies. And so without further ado, let's get over how to play. First, to get started, we're going to use incognito mode as we went over earlier in the prep event, because that way, when we start using our assigned credentials, you'll find everything goes more smoothly. By the way, Chrome browser works best for quick labs, Firefox next, although you can use any browser. Please sign in to Quick Labs if you haven't already had an account, or join. This is our hands-on lab environment where we'll get to actually really be in the live Google Cloud Platform's ecosystem. Here's also how to change the language you can take the lab in. So feel free to ponder over the slide a minute so you know what to do. Awesome. And so an optional thing is to change your player name, and that would be very important for us when contacting you for the leaderboard. So pick a friendly name, which we prefer to be your own name, and for us to know who the winners are. The first name and the last name would be perfect. Awesome. And then the game link and the access code link is these. So make sure to copy in your game link and make sure that to have the correct access code so you can get access to our Google Cloud platform for the game for tonight. Also, you can scan the QR code to get an instant access to it. Awesome. I hope you all copied down the link, but we'll also have it in our comments section on YouTube and on our Discord channel. So this is an example of what you should see. We also have the link over here. So if you want to jump in right now, you can do so. And so our Cloud Hero event is open for 500 spots. So make sure to join in quickly and start becoming a hero by joining in our events. And so after that, you would see that the game has 4 labs. We will go through the first one together in the slide deck and the second one too. But then we will continue going over the labs tomorrow around the same time. So make sure you're tuning in for that and having that subscribe button clicked so that you would get notifications of when we start our slide deck. Awesome. And for each lab, remember to use a new username and password and project ID that Quick Labs assigns to you when you click the Start Lab button. And so if you confuse them, you might not be able to complete exercises in the subsequent labs. So keep everything straight for each lab. And this is one of the main reasons we're using incognito mode. And so one very important thing, you will start each lab and get new login, right? And so you must end each lab before going on to the next one to make sure that your work has been saved. And also your score does get increased if you were able to finish the lab earlier. Also, very important, you will start each lab and get a new login, so make sure to end the lab as I mentioned earlier. So for the first lab, we're about to begin, so I would love to get everyone excited and be ready to learn a new skill. A friendly reminder is that the following portion of the workshop will be recorded as a reference for the other 3 labs. And so, a last minute pro tip is to make sure that the project ID is the correct one, matches the lab that you're currently working on. This is an alphanumeric label that you would need to copy into the verification field in the Cloud Hero Game Console to validate your project. And so once you have copied that number, switch back to Google Cloud Games app in your browser. And without further ado, I would love to invite Manoj to this stage. And so to continue moving forward with the lab and gets you started with the hands-on workshop. Manoj? Manoj, I believe you're muted.
Sorry. Sorry. Thank you, Abdullah, for giving a quick intro to Quick Labs and GCP. That's a lot, actually. I like the muffin example you showed to us. And today we are going to do data ML with BigQuery using command line. So we have till now we have seen a lot of theory. Now let's get into practical. Let's start the game.
Thank you, Manoj. Thank you for having me. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye. See you soon. I think by now everyone will be able to see the same thing which is popping on the screen. This is the playground in which we are going to play the lab. So let's get started. Let's jump into command line. Quick start with command line. Before jumping into the game, I'll give a quick introduction of BigQuery. What is BigQuery? BigQuery is a cloud data warehouse. Oh, we got 2 new terms here. Data warehouse. What is data warehouse? A data warehouse is a collection of data sets or databases, basically which are used for analytical processing. And by now everyone knows what is a database. It's used for transactional data. So all this historical data is stored in data warehouses to do analytical research. It's mainly used by enterprises. And what is BigQuery here? So BigQuery is a service which connects different projects and different databases, and it helps to quickly retrieve the huge amounts of data in no time, and it deals with petabytes of data. Okay, now let's get into the lab. So this is a 30 minutes lab. In this, we'll use command line for accessing BigQuery, and let's start the lab by clicking the green button over here. And I hope no robots are joining this. So let's click. I'm not a robot. And remember one thing, please open this console in incognito mode so that you won't be charged for the GCP service you are using. So just right click on the open console and open link in incognito window. Now just copy the username and paste in the email ID here. And this is you'll get new instance for every lab you'll be going through. The password too. And accept all the terms and conditions. And since this is a temporary account, you don't need to give any phone number or recovery email. Just confirm it. Yep, we are officially into the Google Cloud platform. And agree and continue. I hope most of the people are in United States, and if you're not, please change your country and just click enter. So this is the Google Cloud platform, and here we can see the project ID we are going to use. And now we are going to walk through the lab quickly. Let's get started with command line. So a Cloud Shell is a virtual machine that is loaded with development tools. It offers a 5 GB home directory and runs on Google Cloud. So just click this Activate Cloud Shell button, which is on the top right corner of the GCP platform, and it will take a few seconds to pop it up to run the instance. I think by now everyone are following me. If you can't follow me, please leave in the chat so that the mentors who are helping this will help you to get started. Follow with me. Here we go. So this is the project ID, and this is, I think everyone has can see this screen which is in the command line. So it is a new instance for everyone who is using this. And to confirm that we are on the right track, let's just copy Gcloud authentication and paste it here.
12 seconds later.
Sorry about that. I copied the same thing twice. Yes, and authorize the thing. Yes, officially we are in the GCP platform, and we are authorized to use the GCP services using command line.
Hey, so sorry to interrupt. Howdy to everyone out there on YouTube land. My name's Daniel Fiorello. I just wanted to quickly remind you, you froze there for a second when you were going through that first command line explanation. If you wouldn't mind just backing up to what you did to get us to this point, I think it'll help those following along, right? So right above the output, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. And the people who are not able to follow, don't worry. You can just rewind and see what I did in the previous step. And you can also ask in the quick comment box, and people will help you there. Now let's get started with Bigquery. So we can connect to Bigquery using a simple command called bq. Just type bq and you'll be connected to Bigquery in the command line. And as I said earlier, it's a data warehouse where there are a lot of data sets stored in it. You can see how the interface looks like. So suppose we are in this project, and we have a lot of free public data sets available, and you can also upload the data sets from your computer. And uh, a quick intro to dataset: it's a collection of different tables, and every table has rows and columns in it. To see there, so Google Cloud has provided few free data sets for everyone to get started and practice with it. So let's get let's see the few free data sets available in the big cloud. So just type bq show, or else you can just copy the command line which is over here. In this so I will go through each and every part which is in this command line basically. Can everyone see my screen better, or do I need to zoom so that you can see the letters perfectly? Cool. So PQ here connects to the BigQuery platform. Oh, I need to zoom in. Thank you. Is it better now? Cool. So here BQ connects to BigQuery and shows a command which helps us to see the table which is in the data set. And BigQuery's public data is a project which is free project of BigQuery, and samples is a data set, and Shakespeare is a table name. Yeah, so this square simply shows the schema of the table called Shakespeare, and the schema contains the simple, it contains 4 columns: word count, and corpus date. And it has 164656 rows in it, and it's a lot amount of data, I guess. And in a traditional database, it takes a few minutes to query this table. But in BigQuery, as we go further, you can just do in seconds. So let's see what's exactly in this table. And I hope the people who have attended a prep event knows the SQL better by now. But I assume that you're not aware of the SQL, so I'll just explain step by step SQL. So what I did exactly here is just select. So BigQuery connects to BQ connects to BigQuery, and this command says that we are using SQL for querying the data from BigQuery. And the word select states that which table which columns you need to display in the results, and from shows that which table you are connecting to. So here is So here we can see that few rows has popped up from the command we used here. I just use select star from BigQuery and limit to 10. So 10 rows are visible over here. And this table contains 4 columns as mentioned in the schema. And I can share you the same command with everyone so that everyone can try this too. I hope everyone are able to run this command along with me. Okay, cool. Now let's get started with another statement. which will query the data where a word contains resin. So just copy this command from the quick lab and paste in the command line prompt here. So here the select word command select this word from the table and sum of word counts. So this gives how many words which contain resin in this entire table. So which is like 160k rows, and we'll group them by word. Let's see what pops up when I enter this command. Great, it's so quick. Bqml is able to query this entire table within 2 seconds. I guess it's literally 0 seconds. Sorry, I was a little bit slow. So the word phrasing is populated 8 times, and there are different kinds of words here which contain the word resin here, and like is used to. It's just like which word contains this phrase here. So every word here has RAISIN. So we got praising as 8 times and raisins as only 1 time. Let's get forward. And don't forget to check your progress. If you are following this, you need to check your progress after every command you do. So let's see if I'm on the right track or not. Great, it's working. Now let's see a word which is not in the table. Just copy this and try to run in the command line as we did for the previous commands. Yeah, we get an empty things because the word HUZZAH is not there in the table. Let's get little naughty here. I'll replace the word with Manoj and see if my word is used by Shakespeare. Oh no, Shakespeare didn't use my name also in his poems. Wow, that's funny. And let's check the progress again. Great. And now that we have run few queries on the table, let's get started by creating our own table and query on that. And it is so simple. So that as GCP has provided us with 5 GB of data, and let's see what's in our folder. You can just see readme.cloud_shell.txt, and it contains all the basic commands which you use for BigQuery. And let's see if we have any tables in the free cloud service provided by GCP, and it's as simple as like BQLS. So LS stands for list all the files, and I don't have any files in my storage, in my personal storage in GCP. So let's create one table now. And as I mentioned earlier, BigQuery also provides free tables. So let's see what are the free tables provided by BigQuery. And after this tutorial, you can just play around with those tables and query. And let's check. Oh, we have a lot of free data available in the GCP. We can use it for our projects or anything. And as I said earlier, let's make our own table now. So type BQMK. What do I name my table? Okay, let's name as baby names. So here MK
12 seconds later.
let's let's see. So MK stands for make table here in BigQuery. So I'll make a folder with baby names, and let's just check again. BQLS. Yeah, I can see a data set name baby names, but since there is no data in it, I can't query on it. So let's insert few data in it. And don't forget to check the progress here again. And so it is very difficult to type entire table now. So let's download it from the internet. And wget command helps you to download the tables from the net. And okay, let's download some tables from ssa.gov. Awesome. This is so quick. We can download a lot of tables in so fast. Let's see what we have now. ls, again use ls command, bqls. Yeah, we can see the folder called names.zip. It contains all the tables which we have downloaded in the previous command using wget. So let's unzip the folder now. I think it's better to copy from here rather than type. Quick is so easy for me now. Sorry, I think it got stuck. Don't worry, I will connect to another terminal. So let's just quickly check what we have now. Yep. I think it worked. Yeah, here we can see a lot of tables populated. So it's just the downloaded files. Now that we have seen that, now that we have these tables in our local GCP command local instance, we'll just transfer it to BigQuery. For that, you need to create a table in BigQuery. So just copy this and paste over here. So I'll explain each and every word which is used here. So again, BQ stands for BigQuery, which is used to connect to BigQuery, and load. So this is used to load the tables which we have in our local instance to BigQuery serverless instance. As I said earlier, with serverless, you don't need to worry about how much data you need to provide in BigQuery actually. So everything is taken by Google. So again, baby names is the data set we created in our BigQuery using earlier commands like mk directory. So we used mk baby names. So that is a data set. And here names 2010 is the table name which I'm going to give for the date table in the BigQuery, and yob210.text is the table which we have in a local instance in GCP. And since this table has three columns, names, gender, and count. Okay, let's create the table in BigQuery. Everyone are getting the same result as me. I hope that everyone are following me. Can you give quick comments so that if you're behind, so that I can slow down and explain it again? Let us know in the chat, please. If not, ask question in our Discord channel. Yeah, great. Yeah, it's working. Thank you, Perth, for the confirmation. I hope everyone is also able to follow me. Great, it's working. So let's check the progress now. Since we have created for the table and we have created the entire table and copied within 2 seconds. That's really quick, so fast. So let's see what's inside the baby names. So again, BQLS baby names. Now we can see that table which we have created here using load. Great. Let's query on the table which we have created on our own. Now that you have learned how to query it, I think it will be so easy for you to follow from now. Let's see the schema of the table which we have created. So it's BQ show baby names. Baby names is a data set and names is a table name, to be clear. Wow. So as we have created, there are 3 columns: name, gender, and count, and there are 34,000 rows approximately, and it's 650k bytes, which is approximately like 6 KB or something, or 64 KB. Sorry. And let's move forward. And let's start querying on the table which we have created. And don't worry about the timing. We'll get there soon. Again, you can do it the labs iteratively until you get the better score. And to do any query in BigQuery, just type BQ query and type the SQL, basic SQL. Now we'll see the top repetitive names in our US in 2010 of female gender. So it's as simple as select name and count from baby names or table, our data set in the table, where gender is equals to female. And so we want to know what are the most used names in US. So let's order by descending order, and we'll just limit it to 5. Let's run this command. Wow, that's so quick. It's just again in 0 seconds. I'm so impressed with BigQuery here. So here we got the result. The name Isabella is used approximately 23,000 times in 2010. That's so popular name. And even Emma, Sophia, and Olivia. Now we'll see with males. So just copy this command which is there and paste store here using Control V. And as same, so this is very similar to the command which you used previously. It's again select name and count from baby names. This is the data set and this is the table name. And where gender is equals to m. Now this time we'll see the least used names in US for males in 2010. And a quick instruction: don't let the timer end because as you need to start it over again. So let's wait quicker here, and we'll check the progress. Let's see what we got in the results. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not able to pronounce this, but these are the names which are least used by newborn babies in 2010. And I'm not able to even pronounce those names. Hope sorry about that. And we are done. So we just completed the lab within 4 minutes with still time left for 4 minutes. And let's have a quick understanding of what we did till now. You can access BigQuery using any guesses. For now we did in a command line tool, so I'll click this, and we can also use web UI, I guess. And there is also a REST API, which my friends will explain the next labs. So let's see. Wow, that's correct. And which CLI tool used to interact with BigQuery surveys? I'm expecting some answers in the comments. Okay, let's guess. It's PQ. As I said many times in this intro. Oh, wow, that's correct. And don't forget to clean up the tables which we have created, as it might charge you up. But since it's a free instance, you don't need to worry about it. But let's do it for our habit. So here BQ again stands for BigQuery, and RM is remove and R is recursive. So since baby names the dataset, it removes all the tables in the dataset baby names. So let's copy this and try it there. Cool. So press Y. So it's just confirming whether we really want to remove, because by mistake we may delete few important tables. So just press S. Here you go. Let's see PQLS. It's clean. Wow. So we have deleted the tables which we have created, and let's check the progress. Cool. Congratulations. We have completed the first lab of BigQuery command line. And next, my friend will explain using machine learning in BigQuery. So I hope everyone understood how to use BigQuery till now. And don't forget to end the lab and close this lab. Great. And for me, I give 5 stars for this. I hope if you enjoy, you also give the 5 stars. And Bobby, you're coming up, I guess. Let's have some with machine learning.
Yeah, thanks so much, Manoj. It's great to have that foundational knowledge base of how to use BigQuery before we step into the machine learning aspect. So thanks so much for the explanation. Very detailed.
Yeah, I hope everyone are following up till now. And if you can't follow, just ask questions in our Discord channel or the comment section in the YouTube. And till now, we have seen how to query and how to create tables. Now, Bobby will go with machine learning. Here you go, Bobby. Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks, Manoj.
Bye, everyone.
See you later. So yeah, thanks for joining with that. Now we're going to focus more on the machine learning aspect of BigQuery and how to incorporate that. So the way we're going to be using it is called Bqml, which stands for BigQuery Machine Learning. Now, Bqml uses SQL, so SQL, on the BigQuery platform to help develop a binary, in this case, in this quick lab that we're going to be walking through, we're going to use it to develop a binary logistic regression model. Now, it sounds much more confusing than it is. As you saw, there's those 10,000 researchers and 2 million experts. We're not quite at that level yet. But guess what? That's okay, because they created these platforms for us to use. And so we'll gain a little bit more understanding on how this is going to be helpful for us. So binary logistic regression, it's used to predict the odds of being a case based off of the values of independent variables or predictors. So we're using these predictors, and it's the probability of a particular outcome divided by the probability of that outcome not happening. In other words, it's true divided by false, 1 divided by 0, or yes divided by no. And that's how we're going to be able to come up with some of these predictions based off of these data sets that we've been given. Now, there's other models that you can use using Bqml. There's linear regression. There's k-means clustering. There's time series, deep neural networks, which I find especially interesting. Be sure to look into that if you're interested yourself, and many more. But like I said, today we're going to be focusing on the binary logistic regression model. Now, to kind of summarize this, what Bqml does, it predicts the possibility of future events using machine learning. What's great about it is that it's super fast. So instead of taking this data from the data warehouses and bringing it over to a pre-existing machine learning software, we're taking the machine learning and bringing it to the data sets by hosting it over the cloud. So it makes it a lot faster. As you'll see in some of the examples that we go through, we're going to be using sets of data. We're going to be using 100,000 pieces of data to parse through, and it'll do it relatively quickly. What's also great about it is that you don't have to have a lot of SQL experience, especially if you participated in our previous prep events. You'll have all the knowledge that you need to be able to complete this. So really, for the machine learning aspect, we're only going to be using 2 different lines of code to incorporate the machine learning. So it's not like you're going to have to recreate a machine learning model. You're going to be using the resources that we already have prepared for you. Another great thing is, as Manoj mentioned, there's large data sets available for everyone to use. It's democratized. So we can use, for example, Google Analytics, databases from there, and incorporate that in our queries. I know if you participated in the event yesterday, the Between the Brackets event hosted by Madusha, Danny, and Kyle, there were a lot of questions from students about startup ventures. So I know a lot of you either are engaged in your own startup, have an idea for one, or maybe you're just interested in the idea of a startup. A great way to get marketing information, maybe to determine your target market segment, is by using some of these tools to hone in on who's going to be responding to your campaigns. Especially during coronavirus, when everything's online and virtual, it's a great tool to help discern, who's going to be reading these emails, seeing these flyers, who cares about the information that we're giving. And you can kind of predict based off of the information you already have to create more engagement. So that's just a specific example of what can be done with this, but we're going to go into another example in this lab. If this tool sounds like it's too good to be true, that sounds the same to me. It almost is. So be sure to leverage your current student status by joining a Dsc Club. So either go to dsc.community.dev and join a club there. You can go to the chapters section and then type in the search bar your university. If you don't have one, be sure to search any other university. I'm sure every university would be happy to have you join their events. And there's plenty of other events you can participate in from other universities. So for example, go to chapters, you could type in Madison. First one that would pop up is UW-Madison. It's a little plug for DSC and UW-Madison. And then there'll be a drop-down menu of all the events coming up and how to join too. Now, if you're not really following along right now, don't worry. We have a whole team in the Discord channel that was mentioned before. So be sure to join our Discord channel. Go to the Q&A lobbies to get a one-on-one interaction with people that can help you step through this process. And also, you can post your questions to the Cloud Hero channel as well. So thanks everybody for joining, and let's dive into the next quick lab, Introduction to Bqml. As you can see on my screen, here's the overview with the leaderboard, and you should have access just below where it says Cloud Hero Data and ML with Bigquery. Now click on that. And we already completed the first one, the Bigquery Quick Start command line. Now let's go ahead and do the second one. Now this is a 45-minute lab, but don't worry, there is padding for timing. As you saw, we had the detailed walkthrough from Manoj, and he was able to explain every step and still complete it on time. So 45 minutes should be plenty of time. If not, no worries, you'll be able to complete the lab again. Make sure that you're in an incognito window like I have up here. So, Control-Shift-N on Windows or Command-Shift-N on Mac. And let's open it up. Cool. So as we saw, it's a 45-minute lab. We already talked about what Bqml is and what it can do. As mentioned here, there's new available data sets like the e-commerce data sets that has millions of Google Analytics records for the Google Merchandise Store already loaded into Bigquery. So in this one, we're going to learn how to use machine learning models in Bigquery. Now let's go ahead and click Start Lab. And verify you're not a robot. If you're a robot out there, get off this call. We don't want you. Just kidding. Everybody's welcome. Humans, robots, whoever wants to do it. And select all the palm trees. It really must think I'm a robot. Verify. Cool. Now let's go ahead and do the same procedure. Open Google Cloud Console. It should open up a new tab for you. And you might see this ID pop up with your previous ID that you've used for the last lab. Do not use that one. We're going to use, do not use your personal account. Otherwise, you might be charged. So to make sure that you're not incurring any fees and that you're doing this for free, use another account and then use the credentials provided for you in the previous tab here. So you can copy it, go back over, and paste. And next. All right, let's go back and copy the password. Go back in, paste it, and go ahead. Accept the terms of service and the Google privacy policy. And because each of these is an instance, of login credentials, you won't be reusing this, so no need to update the protection on the account. We're just using it for this 45-minute segment. If you notice a little bit of shadow behind me, it's a sunny day in Madison, Wisconsin. So I've got a bright light right on my face. Hopefully that helps a little bit. But I'd rather have the sun than the cold winter and darkness. So. Now, depending on your connection, it might take a little while to load. Not an issue. Just give it some time, and we're going to go ahead and go down a little bit. Now, you can make sure that your project IDs here and in the tab loaded match. It should. If it doesn't, you might want to try again and relog into the lab. All right, we signed in, and we are set. Now, like I said, we're going to be using Bqml, so we're going to have to navigate to that portion on the Google Cloud Platform. After we agree to the terms of service and select your country. I am currently in the United States, so that's where I'm going to select. Now we're going to have to scroll down a little bit to find Bqml. So if we scroll, it's under Big Data, and you'll see Bigquery right here. So if we click that and open it. And click Done, and it should load up for us. Now here's where we see the query editor. This is where we're going to enter the code. We're not going to be doing it in the command line this time. But the first step, we're going to have to click on our, under resources, here's our project ID. Click on that, and then we're going to create a new data set. Now this is outlined in the lab, just like it says, create new data set. And what does it say to name it? Let's scroll down and see. It says to call it Bqml Lab. Now, just for consistency's sake, that's the name I'm going to use. Any name really works, but just to make sure that everything that's on your screen is on mine, I'm going to use the Bqml Lab. Lab. And we're going to leave all this the same. So default table expiration, never, because we're going to be creating multiple tables. We don't want the other ones to be deleted. And encryption, Google managed key, and then create dataset. Now you'll see Bqml Lab pops up here. Now to check your progress, make sure to click Check My Progress here to create the dataset. We just did this, so it should come with the green check, and it does. Now if you're experiencing issues with any of this, I know this lab and the previous lab are more involved than maybe the prep events were. So we're expecting more questions. That's why we have more people on the Discord channel. Don't forget to join the Discord channel. Check out the Q&A lobbies. Check out the Cloud Hero channel and ask your questions there. Adi and Evelyn and Andrew are more than happy to help. Now to creating a model. So we're going to copy this code just so you don't have to see me typing in everything. But if you want to type it in, it's a great way to really understand, what you're doing with each step. But I'm going to go ahead and copy it. Right now, we're sorting through criteria on whether or not the operating system, the data taken from the operating system is mobile. And also, we're focusing on the countries and the page views here. So that's what we're selecting. And we're doing it from this data set here. And where? Now, this is what determines the dates. So as you can see, you can probably decipher that these are dates here. So 2016, the 8th, which is August 1st. So from August 1st, 2016 to June 31st, 2017. And we're going to limit this to 100,000 results for speed. Now, since it is 100,000 results, there might be a little bit of a delay. That's okay, though. We're going to go ahead and paste it in here and then click Run. Right here is where we're creating the model. So this is what we're naming it, the Bqml Lab.sample model. This will put it underneath the Bqml Lab. The sample model will be the table here. And give that some time to run. It might take a second for you. If you have an Ethernet connection, it'll probably be faster. Unfortunately, that's not the case for me right now, but we're going to try.
12 seconds later.
Gotta love the SpongeBob references. All right. So as discussed, this is the Bqml Lab. The data set is a sample model. That's where the dot sample model comes in, which is what we're creating. The label is what we're trying to fit. We already talked about the dates, the data points, creating the model, and once it runs and is completed, taking a little bit longer, that's all right. Once it's finished, then we'll click Check My Progress. The other examples that we have won't be using 100,000 results, so it'll be a little bit quicker, but this is a lot faster than taking this data from a data warehouse and bringing it over to your own machine learning platform, because it's all stored in the cloud. So it is reliant on your internet connection speed, that's for sure. All right, it ran, so let's check our progress and get that green check. Awesome. Now, this part's optional, but we're going to do it for the sake of the Quick Lab. To complete the Quick Lab, you will have to do this. But this is to get some more statistics on information about the model. So if by clicking on Bqml Lab, then click the sample model. So Bqml Lab, sample model. There we go. Under the Details tab, you should find some basic model info and training options used to produce the model. Under Training, you should see the table, either a table or graphs, depending on your viewing settings. So Training. So here are the graphs. You can see the duration for each iteration, how long it took, the loss as it's learning, or the loss goes down, the learn rate goes up, which is exactly what you want to see in your machine learning algorithms. Now we're going to evaluate the model. So we're going to replace the query that we had before with this. So we're selecting from this model, which we have the sample model, and the same criteria here. So we have the OS, the country, and the page views from the same data set, where we're doing it between 2017 of July 1st, and 2017, August 1st. Go ahead, you can do Control A to highlight it all, backspace, and then Control V. Now we're going to run this. Now this will give us some more details in the columns. For example, absolute error, the mean squared error, the squared log error. These are all terms, if you're a data analyst, you might be familiar with. If you've taken some stats classes, you might also be familiar with these terms. We don't have enough time for the sake of this lab to jump into each individual one, but if you want to learn more about it, feel free to right-click on the machine learning glossary, and they'll outline all the details in there for you. here we go. We have our results. So we have the precision. So how accurately these have been evaluated. Recall, accuracy, F1 score, log loss, all the data that you might need if you're trying to make this algorithm better or trying to see, how well the data was retained and what information you might need depending on your use. So select and from are the portions that are identical from during the training. The where reflects the change in the time frame. And the from portion shows that you are calling M1 evaluate. So that's evaluating this query. As you saw here, evaluate. This is a little different than when we were using the machine learning to predict what's going to happen. We'll see that in the next step, I believe. Here we go. So that's exactly what we saw. Precision, recall, accuracy, F1 score, log loss, and evaluate the model, checking the progress. We got the thumbs up. We did it right. All right. Now let's use this model. Let's predict purchases per company, or per country rather. We're going to predict the number of transactions made by visitors of each country, sort the results, and then select the top 10 countries by purchase. So because we're doing the top 10 countries, you'll see it changes here to limit. And because we're not evaluating it, we are predicting, you'll see this changes from M1 evaluate to M1 predict of the same model, the Bqml Lab sample model. And we're sorting by the same categories: mobile OS, page views, and country between July 1st, 2017 and August 1st, 2017. So let's go ahead and copy that. Like I said, if you want to type it out word for word, I find that that helps me. The first time I ran through the lab, I did that just so I could understand, what each command does. But in the meantime, we're going to highlight this, delete it, and then paste in the new one. Then click run. Now, you saw we only have 10 results in this one, not 100,000, so it was a lot faster. 1.1 seconds elapsed with 2.1 megabytes processed. And here we see the same table that we see in the lab. Is it the same? No, it's a little different because this data changes. This is a growing data set, constantly changing, constantly evolving. So you might see different numbers depending on when it's run. So when this instructional quick lab was created is different than the stats that we have today, which is why United States, we see 120, Taiwan 6, Canada 3, versus 216, 6, and 4. So we're using predict and the Bqml portion of the query wrapped with standard SQL commands. So we're interested in the purchase of each country, which is why we selected group by and order by. And there's a limit to ensure that there's only 10 results. So where is that? Yep, 10 results. There we go. And this is ordering it from in descending order. That's what the DESC means. Now let's check the progress. Now, if you want some more help or you want to delve into more what each individual command does, feel free to shout out your questions. Happy to help. Also, put them in the Discord channel. We've got a lot of people willing to help you there. So don't forget about Discord. Super useful tool. Absolutely love the voice channels. Slack is great, but there's nothing that beats the one-on-one voice channels to be able to share your screen and get help directly from one of our mentors. Now, so we went ahead and predicted the purchases per country, but now we're going to predict the purchases per user. So this changes it a little bit. You'll see when we print it out, we'll have the visitor's ID. So each person has their own ID. Obviously, we don't use names for this. That would be, we couldn't do that for privacy purposes. And also, numbers make more sense than words, especially when establishing data sets. So let's go ahead and copy this one. We're also going to do it to the top 10 visitors by transaction. And we're still going to use the predict model because we're predicting it. This hasn't happened. This is what we think will happen. We're doing the same for the select, except we're doing full visitor ID instead of the country. And we're doing it from same area between the same dates, grouping by the visitor's ID and ordering by the purchases in descending order from highest to lowest. So we copy that, bring it into the Bigquery, Control A again, delete, Control V, or type it out if you so choose, and then go ahead and run. This one was 0.2 seconds slower, but that's all right because we have more data, 3.6 megabytes processed. And here it shows each visitor ID with their total predicted purchases. So this person is predicted to purchase 3, 2, 2, all the way down to 1. And those are the top 10. Now, if you're getting different results, let us know in the chat. Like I said, this is a prediction and the data constantly changes. So as long as you're getting a table that looks like this with the row, the full visitor ID, and total predicted purchases, you're on the right track. And we can test that by going back and test completed task. Let's see if we predicted the purchases per user correctly. We did. So let's do a little bit of a recap on what we did here. First, we started by creating a data set. Where are we? There we go. We created the Bqml Lab. Within that data set, we added the model by using this. So we named that model sample model. We can see that under Bqml, under our project ID. Then we have Bqml Lab, then the sample model. And here's some more information about the sample model too, if you're looking for more specific information. Here we have logistic regression, as we talked about, the mean loss log, as well as training data. So temporary training data table, the temporary evaluation data table. If you want to take a look at those, go ahead and open them up. Max iterations allowed 20, and so on and so forth. Cool. Then we went ahead and modeled the training statistics. Well, we saw the model of those. That was listed under the training. We can view the graphs in the table. Evaluated the model. And then we predicted. So we predicted purchases based off of country. And then predicted the purchases based off of user ID. And all of these worked out. We have the right code for each of them. So we're going to test our understanding. Below are multiple choice questions to reinforce your understanding of this lab's concepts. Answer them to the best of your abilities. Now I'm going to give a little bit of time for you each to submit your own responses in the YouTube chat. So go ahead and let us know what you think. Some of these are pretty tough. There's only 2 of them, but the last one can be a little tough. It's similar to the last lab, but let's go with the first one. Bigquery is fully managed enterprise data warehouse that enables super fast SQL queries. Well, although super fast is relative, we have discussed that it is a lot faster than bringing the data to your machine learning platform because it's all resides in the cloud. So we know it's fully managed enterprise data warehouse. We had talked about that earlier when talking about Bigquery. So that is true. Good for you, everybody that got that right. Even if you didn't, we're learning, and we can redo these questions if you get it wrong. I'll show you an example. I'll purposely get this next one wrong. And here, let's do GStreamer. Oops, one or more of your choices is incorrect. But how can we access Bigquery? Well, we saw from the last lab that we can use the command line tool. So we know that's right. This lab is the web UI and also the Bigquery REST AP as discussed previously. So let's submit, see if we get those right. There we go, green check. Now, we completed this with a lot of extra time, so feel free to go through the lab and submit questions based off of things that you didn't understand. If you have any questions, put them in the Discord. Otherwise, congratulations, you finished this one. Let's go ahead and make sure to click End Lab to make sure that all your stats are counted for the Cloud Hero event. There we go. Say 5 stars and learned a lot of new info about Bqml. Loved it. If you didn't, be honest. This is how we make it better. But I enjoyed this series, so I'm going to submit that. And there we go. We're all done. So let's go ahead and toss it back to Abdallah and to help wrap up this event and open up a Q&A session for everybody. But thanks for having me on stage.
Thank you, Bobby, and thank you, Manoj, for the nice welcome. This was amazing, seeing you all do an amazing work, just explaining and going through the labs. I've learned a lot just by being on the stream and listening to all of the great questions that have been answered in the comment section, as well as the nice introduction and walk through the labs themselves. And so this was pretty exciting, and I believe, like many of you, might have a lot of questions and answers that might be roaming around. How do we get started? What kind of things that we can do with this? These are very, very powerful technologies that we're going to use and our lives, mainly if we're looking for some kind of hackathon project or maybe a personal project, or it could also be your entrance to some of the key industry usage of these impressive tools. And so, with all that really high speed kind of technology, I would love to invite back maybe Bobby and Manoj into order to have some kind of a Q&A session. But one key thing that I want everyone to keep in mind is that keep playing to win. This is a Cloud Hero session. We're all here competitive. We want to make sure that you get up on top of the leaderboard, because tomorrow we're going to also continue with our other 2 lab so that you're always ready to finish that challenging lab and be able to get on top of that leaderboard. And from there, you get an email from us letting you know that you became the Cloud Hero of the day. And so, without further ado, maybe we can get answer 1 or 2 questions before we leave, since we're good on time. And so, Manoj and Robbie, could you jump back to the stage? Awesome. And so, right now, we're always here ready to answer any of your questions. So, feel free to drop them down in the channel.
I don't know. Abdallah, Manoj, have you guys worked with Bigquery before this event, or is this something new for both of you?
Yeah, this event was definitely, I would say, a nice refresher. I did work with it before on Quick Labs, so that was exciting. Just getting my hands on that really cool technology. But yeah, going through the labs with you has definitely helped refresh my memory.
Yeah, actually, this is also very new for me. Normally, I used to query using SQL servers, but when the data sets are pretty large, like more than 1 GB, it used to take like hours to query. But I think here I can query within just minutes, maybe, or sometimes seconds, as we have seen. And also, when coming to machine learning, we do a lot of coding in Python, but with the help of BigQuery, I can just use the logistic regression as one word and query whatever I want, and boom, the machine learning algorithm is done. So it's so easy for me now.
That's awesome. You know, for me, it was very new technology that I haven't used before, besides, previous Quick Labs. So I have yet to take a machine learning course in college, hopefully next semester. So hopefully this is, some information. I'm sure it'll be some information that I can bring to that class and help make me more successful. So.
Cool.
Awesome. That's really cool. And what other exciting events or exciting tools that you're also interested to learn more about?
Well,
Okay.
I'm very interested in Flutter. I know there's been a Flutter series going on. And so I joined a couple of those, and it was a great tool that I had no idea existed before being a part of DSC. So I know Flutter is probably my number one. I don't know. What about you, Manoj? Oh,
Hello?
you frozen?
Yeah, sorry,
There we
a
go.
little
No
froze.
problem. Yeah, Manoj, are there tools that you're interested in learning more about?
Yeah. So since I'm a data science guy, I prefer doing more of my machine learning models in a cloud rather than my own laptop because we need a lot of computational power. So I would like to learn more about machine learning servers like Cloud AI and do my work quickly, especially the projects during deadlines.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, having that insane computing power in your hands is definitely
Yeah.
worth learning more about. And that's what we were able to see today. Getting results ready in about no time. We went and did actually sorted out a lot of data, big chunks of data in no time. And so with such power comes more possibilities and more opportunities. So with these, you're able to do much more when you're having that really strong tool that allows you to do a lot of really interesting things. And so I would highly recommend you share this event with your friends and family. Make sure that they tune in to learn more about those interesting tools. These events are also recorded. So if you've missed something that I've said, Manoj said, or Bobby said, you can always come back to it later and watch that portion that you might have missed us with. Also, make sure to like and subscribe to get notifications of tomorrow's events and all future events coming out this year and future years. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. At the end of the day, I would like to thank you all for being on our slide deck. We were truly happy to see you all over here. I have seen some familiar faces in the audience, so that's amazing. And make sure to tune in for tomorrow's event.
See you guys. Thank you
Awesome.
very
Thank
much
you,
for
everyone.
having
Thanks, Abdallah.
us.